Well, hey there. Welcome. So it is 7 o'clock on a Tuesday. That must mean it's time to chat a little bit with Mully. I see there's Anglenice is already in comments mentioning that you are having your. Here's your comment. Hope all is well. Just about to eat lunch early as it's Parents' Day at school. Only taught one lesson. LOL. And my question to you was, do you eat the school lunches? Yes, I'm sitting in from bread, salad, croquette, and soup today. It hasn't even started and already a dislike. Some people have no life at all, indeed. Ironically, I had a croquette for breakfast, so it's not the best timing. So, of course, you're talking about the Japanese school lunches, right? So I used to enjoy those as well, although typically I brought something else in. I just, it's so funny. Since leaving Japan, if I was to get back there again, I would do it all differently. I would embrace the culture more and dive deep into it more than living the more peripheral life that I was living. Back then I was so distracted by myself and my own interests. So it's so funny. I wonder if that would really hold. If I went back, if I really would. Like I have this idea that I would go back. I would get a job, a real job, insofar as a job that demanded that I speak Japanese, and that I would, in fact, one of the things I've got lined up to talk with Mully about here tonight is about the Japanese bar scene. Even though I'm not much of a drinker, I would find myself at Cheers, someplace that where everybody knows your name, and embrace that. I wonder if that's a common experience for people that leave a particular country and then they look back and they realize, I wish I'd done it a little bit differently. Not quite sure. So anyway, I sent an invitation to Mully to join. He should be here shortly. And I also sent an invitation to my daughter. Who knows? Let's put a little banner up here. Let's see. Who knows? Maybe Emily will join us. Let's put a surprise guest. Surprise guest. Maybe. Full across the bottom. And let's see. Sure, there it goes. Yeah, we'll have to see. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. Today is a remarkable day. I'll go ahead and get started with my first topic here. It's a remarkable day for me. I have today is my last day of work for almost 2 full weeks. I cannot remember the last time that I've had 2 solid weeks off from work. I seem to just pile on work whatever situation I'm in life. Rarely take any vacation and just go. But my workplace has decided to take the entire last week of the year off, so I'm not going to be employed, so to speak. So for a week. So what the heck? And so it turned out that I had to take I had to take some mandatory time off this week. So it totals up to 13 days, not quite full 2 weeks. 2006 Crusader says, I spoke Thai before I went to Thailand, and now I'm learning 3 Filipino languages. No kidding. It's interesting. Maybe I can ask you, have you been to the Philippines? Do you know much about it? The reason I ask is that I just finished a book here that I wanted to talk with Mully about, No Surrender by Hiro Onora. And it's about this. I talked a little bit about this last week. It's about this Japanese soldier's reluctance to give up the fight in Japan. And he fought on for all the way from the end of the war. He started basically in 1940, was it 44? And the war ended in 45 in August, and he continued fighting until 1974. And he was in the Philippines. And in the course of learning about this, let's bring up Google Earth, actually. In the course of reading the book, I looked up a lot about it. I was trying to learn about the situation that he was in, and I learned a lot about the Philippines. As Google Earth loads up, here it comes. Reese says, hey, Kurt. Hey, Reese. Let's go ahead and bring that up. And I just got Reese says you just got your book today. Going to start it this evening. Awesome. Yeah, no, I sent out a batch of Going Alone last week, and the post office said they would all arrive today. So I think there were about 10 of them in that batch. So I'm glad you got it. Did it, and it arrived intact. Good. I hope you find it interesting. And Crusader says about the book you showed, that guy was not in Borneo, but the Philippines. Yeah, I said Borneo last time, but indeed it was the Philippines. And I can actually show you which island. Let's see. Let's go over here. I actually learned my way around it. All this time, I always thought the Philippines were further east than they actually are. It's really just down below, right below Japan, huh? Here, let's go ahead and bring that up. Here's good old Japan. And if you just go straight down, there's New Guinea and the like. Here we are. Philippines are right there. So the island that this soldier was on, Hiro Onoda, is a strategically placed location. Here's Manila, of course, in the Philippines, and then the island of Corregidor, famous for that battle, is right there. He was on this island over here, Lubang Island. And he was dropped off initially here in Tilik, I think the place is called. That says Lok, but a little harbor town of here. Maybe was it here? Maybe it was here. Anyway, the Japanese originally occupied the island, and he was one of like 4 lieutenants that were on there. And Crusader says you read the book about it in the 70s. You read a book about it in the 70s. Was it this book? It must have been. Was it this book? This is Hiro Onoda's ghost written account, very autobiographical. So he basically, after the war ended, through simple attrition, his fellow fighters either dying or surrendering or whatever, he wound up being was just he and one other guy for like 20 years, and then finally in the year and a half before he finally gave up, the other gentleman was the other soldier was I'm sure he was a gentleman, but he was killed by the islanders. And so, but basically they ran kind of the way that it worked is he kind of ran a circuit. There's like a trail, and he kind of created a circuit. It wasn't really a trail that ran around the island, and he would go in a counterclockwise manner through these mountains here, going around and around, keeping places to sleep in different locations. And I think he said that he would make about 4 circuits of this course a year. And at certain times of the year, they would have certain things that they would do. Like right down in this area, I think, is where they would go down and they would burn the villagers. See these rice fields here? They would come down here out of these mountains here and come down into these fields after the villagers had. And Crusader says it was another book. Oh, okay. They would light on fire the stacks of dried rice, ostensibly to send signals to the Japanese off the island that they were basically still there. So that was one thing, and this is where the other officer was killed. The other soldier, who was not an officer but a private first class. Anyway, and when I zoomed in close to kind of look at the landscape here, I discovered something very interesting. Check this out. It makes me so interesting that it makes me want to go to this island and see it for myself. Let's see, where can I find it? It'll pop up. Come on. Let's see if I spin around a little bit. Maybe it'll pop up. It's the Hiro Onoda Trail. I don't see the marker. There was a marker before. Maybe I was looking at it in Google Earth. I mean, not Google Earth, but the other app. Anyway, so apparently there's a memorial or a marker here. He died in 2013 in his 90s. But you can come to the island now, and they've made it into a type of a touristy thing. Although I don't imagine it gets too many visitors, where you can come and you can kind of see where the lieutenant, second class Hiro Onoda had where his camps were and the circuit that he did. Very, very interesting. So the question for you is, Crusader, what do you know about the Philippines? Sounds like a very interesting place. And you said You said three Filipino languages. I guess one of those is Tagalog. Can you speak that? And I guess they have other dialects as well. Have you been to the Philippines? Looks like a very interesting place. Lots and lots of islands. I would love to go back and see that. So anyway, that was the first thing I thought I would talk about tonight. Was the first was the 2 weeks off, and then after that, I thought I'd talk about the No Surrender, the story of Hiro Onoda. There we go. I really enjoyed this book. In fact, I finished it in less than a week, so it was really good. It was a very easy read. Switch back over here. Very easy read. Very well written. Well, let's take a look at some photos of him. Actually, I have that queued up, and not that. Hiro Onoda. There we go. Let's go back to the bigger view. So this is Hiro Onoda when he was a young officer. And this is what he looked like after 30 years in the jungle. All the clothes that he's wearing, he made himself from stuff that he stole from the villagers and or found washed up on the beach. This is when he finally came out of the jungle. He's got his sword there. Here he is. This is him meeting I think a general from the Philippine army, because he was shuttled off to Manila for a private audience with Ferdinand Marcos after he came out, who wanted to meet him. James says, I can because I am Filipino. Well, I guess that would make sense, right? Yeah, James. Oh, that's very interesting. I learned James, so I learned something interesting. He basically, this might interest you. I wish I could remember the words. I wish I had written them down. But he described how, because he was stuck with just this one other soldier for 30 years, the Japanese personal pronouns or the way you address one another are very hierarchical. So they switched to the Tagalog words for you and me. Apparently it made it a more equitable, and it's interesting how he picked up bits of the Tagalog language to help smooth the relations. James, what do you, well, I'm sure you were probably familiar with these stories because there were like lots of these guys for at least in the first decade after the war. What are your thoughts about these guys? Because they killed Filipinos. He killed like 20 after the war ended. Like they killed like 20 people, villagers, in the course of those 30 years. What do you think about that? I'd love to know. Crusader says, I kind of adopted a little girl 13 years ago from a very poor rice farmer family. No kidding. Wow. From the Philippines? That's awesome. I make sure she goes to school, has food, school uniform, etc. You are my hero. Wow, that's wonderful. Ako and Ika. Yeah, maybe. I'd have to look it up to see it, but interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, I would love to know your opinion. What do you think about this? Was he? Oh, and the reason this is, you might wonder, how in the heck could he spend 30 years, denying the war? James says, I'm also Japanese on my mom's side. My granddad was Japanese. Interesting. And the reason it's an interesting thing. It was like a kind of a perfect storm. He went into the Philippines with a very special training and a mission. He wasn't a regular soldier. He was an intelligence officer specializing in guerrilla warfare. In particular, his specialty was he was trained to go behind enemy lines to foil the Americans' to screw with the Americans' minds, to basically mess with their communications, work on propaganda, work with the locals and the like, to screw with the American mind. So as a result, he was of a mind that when people were giving him messages, the Japanese government would come and distribute flyers over the jungle and leave stacks of magazines and the like, and all these indications that the war was over. He had been trained to do the same to others, to screw with people's mind. He figured it was the war was still going on, and that it was the Americans trying to screw with his mind. And he, by gosh darn it, he wasn't going to let that happen. And he was going to stick out the mission as long as it takes, because he had this idea that the Americans and the Japanese were still fighting. An interesting anecdote from that was that at one point there was he had a photo. They left him a photo of his family, and he recognized everybody in his family. They were all looking good. This is like 10 years after the war had ended, right? But the thing that jumped out to him was they were all standing in front of a brand new house, and he couldn't figure out why would his family be standing in front of a brand new house. Now, he had no idea. His family's from Tokyo, apparently. He had no idea about the firebombing, that basically all the major cities on the main islands of Japan had been, reduced to ashes. And so they had built a new home. So he thought, I found a clue. That's a clue that they messed it up, right? So he would, every time he would get some communication, even to the point of his brother coming and standing on a mountaintop with a bullhorn, get this. Okay, so he was yelling in the bullhorn, and Hiro Onoda snuck within 150 yards in the jungle, all camouflaged, and we sat there, and he could see his brother's face, and it looked like his brother, and it sounded like his brother's voice. He couldn't quite see it perfectly, talking about when they were kids and telling anecdotes and stories about that would convince him. And then the brother started singing his school song, which would be so convincing. But at the very last part of the last verse, his brother's voice cracked and broke. And Hiro Onoda said, that's it. The imposter has shown his true self. It's not really my brother. Years later, when they got to talking, the brother explained, it was me, of course. The problem was that I was so broken up, because it was my last day on the island. He'd been there for like 2 months trying to lure his brother out of the mountains. He knew it was his last day there, and he was so broken up that he started to cry, and that's what caused him to break his voice on the song. So close. And that was like 15 years before he finally gave up. So can you imagine what it was like for the family after all that time? Alexia, hold on. Yes, from the Philippines. Oh, that's awesome what you've done, Crusader. Jaden, hello, Jaden. Cinecyclist. Hey, there's a name from the past. Howdy, Cinecyclist. Is that Cinecyclist? That's an interesting photo. It looks like something out of your avatar there. It looks like something like out of a 1970s soft rock trio or something. The Captain and Tennille or something. He was a commando. Yeah, I guess he was. Yeah, commando is what he was. Yeah. Are you, James, being from the Philippines? Is this a well-known story in the Philippines? So, Kurt, don't go there. His spirit might hurt you. Bring it on. Yeah, and I keep inviting spirits to come and haunt me, because I'm curious to know if they're real. They never do. So, in fact, there was that one video. I've got a video out at the ghost town when I first started haunting Siberia myself. I got up and stood up on the ruins and said, "Hey, ghosts, come and get me! Follow me back to the city and haunt me, because I'm curious to know if they're real." But so far, no haunting. James says, "I'm a bit too young to hear this on the news, but my LOL granddad, not LOL, Lolo, that's granddad, thought it was funny, but thought he was a man of honor." That's interesting, because when he finally came out of the jungle, even though he had killed on a lot of islands, on people on the island of Lubak, I think it's called Lubak. And is that a well-known island, James? Even though he had killed people, the people of the island actually welcomed him out. Is that because they thought that he was, like you said, a man of honor, like your Lolo said? Staying true to his mission. That's why he had to wait for his commander to ask him to stand down. Yeah, that's how it ended. The ending was finally there was a hippie teenager in 1974 who dropped out of university, and he went off to travel around the world, and he said he was going to do 3 things. 1, he was going to find the abominable snowman. 2, I can't remember what the second one was, something ridiculous. And 3, he was going to find Lieutenant Onoda. And so he went down to the Philippines and spent 2 weeks camped there with a little tent and a Japanese flag. And lo and behold, Onoda saw the flag and came down one day and walked into his tent. And there was this, teenage this early young man from Japan. He's like, whoa, you're Onoda, and he had his gun pointed at him, right? And they ended up spending the night together all night long talking about things. And he finally said to Lieutenant Onoda, "What would convince you to come? What would you convince you to come out of the jungle?" And he said, "The only thing will convince me is if my commanding officer gives me the stand down orders." And so they went back. So the teenager said, "I'm going to go back to Japan and I'm going to come back with him." And 2 weeks later, he came back. Let's see if I can find a photo of here. Here it is. I think this man on the right here, that was his commanding officer, that one that gave him the orders 30 years prior. And the order, he gave him 2 explicit orders. One, don't surrender, and 2, you're not allowed to kill yourself, because part of his mission was to get, if he, rather than commit suicide, which was very common for the Japanese in that time, rather than surrender, his mission, his orders were to get captured so he could continue to screw with the Americans' military's mind from within prison camp. So finally, this guy showed up. He came back. The hippie kid came back 2 weeks later with this man, and made a rendezvous. So Onoda came. It was that's how the book actually begins. The opening lines. Get this. So listen, this is the opening lines. "I hid in the bushes, waiting for the time to pass. It was a little before noon on March 9th, 1974, and I was on a slope about 2 hours away from Wakayama Point." He must have gave it that name. "My plan was to wait until the time of the evening when it was still just possible to tell one face from another, and then approach Wakayama Point rapidly, in a single maneuver. Not much light would mean danger, but as if it was too dark, I would not be able to make sure that the person I was meeting was really Major Taniguchi." That's Major Taniguchi over there. "Also, late twilight could mean a good time for making a getaway if I should have to. Just after 2 in the afternoon, I crept cautiously out of my hiding place and crossed the river above the point, making my way," of course, this is Lieutenant Onoda speaking, "making my way through a grove of palms that ran along the river. I soon came to an area where the islanders cut trees for building. At the edge of a clearing, I stopped and looked the place over. I could see nobody around. I supposed that the workers must be taking the day off, but to be safe, on the safe side, I camouflaged myself with sticks and dried leaves before dashing across the shelterless point." So I'll skip ahead a little further. Okay. "The time came. I gripped my rifle, thrust out my chest, and walked forward into the open area. Suzuki," that's the name of the hippie kid, "Suzuki was standing with his back to me, between the tent and the fireplace they had rigged up by the riverbank. Slowly," remember, I'm reciting how he gave up after 30 years, right? Meeting his commander. "Slowly, he turned around, and when he saw me, he came towards me with arms outstretched. 'It's Onoda!' he shouted. 'Major Taniguchi! It's Onoda!' In the tent, a shadow moved, but I went forward anyway. Suzuki, eyes bursting with excitement, ran up to me and with both hands clasped my left hand. I stopped about 10 yards from the tent, from which there came a voice. 'Is it really you, Onora? I'll be with you in a minute.' I could tell from the voice that it was Major Taniguchi. Motionless, I waited for him to appear. Suzuki stuck his head in the tent and brought out a camera. From inside, the major, who was shirtless, looked out and said, 'I'm changing my clothes. Just wait a minute.' The head disappeared, but in a few moments, Major Taniguchi emerged from the tent, fully clothed and with an army cap on his head. Taut down to my fingertips, I barked out, 'Lieutenant Onoda, sir, reporting for orders.' 'Good for you,' he said, walking up to me and patting me lightly on the left shoulder. 'I've brought you these from the Ministry of Health and Welfare.' He handed me a pack of cigarettes and a chrysanthemum crest from the emperor of the emperor on them. I accepted it, and holding it up before me in proper respect for the emperor, fell back 2 or 3 paces. At a little distance, Suzuki was standing ready with his camera. Major Taniguchi said, 'I shall read your orders.' I held my breath as he began to read them from a document that he held up formally with both hands. In rather low tones, he read, 'Commander from Headquarters, 14th Area Army.' Remember, this is 1974, everybody, 30 years after the war ended. 'Command from Headquarters, 14th Area Army.' And this is a completely different army, right? This is not the Imperial Japanese Army. This is the Japanese Self-Defense Force, which is totally reorganized after the war. One more time. 'Command from Headquarters, 14th Area Army.' And then continued more firmly in a louder voice. 'Orders from the Special Squadron Chief of Staff, Headquarters, Bibakbak, September 19th, 1900 hours.' Maybe Bibakbak, maybe. James, is that a place in the Philippines, maybe? 1. In accordance with the Imperial Command, the 14th Area Army has ceased all combat activity. 2. In accordance with Military Headquarters Command, number A-2003, the Special Squadron in the Chief of Staff's headquarters is relieved of all military duties. 3. Units and individuals under the command of the Special Squadron are to cease military activities and operations immediately and place themselves under the command of the nearest superior officer. When no officer can be found, they are to communicate with the American or Philippine forces and follow their directives. Special Squadron Chief of Staff Headquarters, 14th Area Army, Major Yoshimi Taniguchi. After reading this, Major Taniguchi paused slightly, then added, "That is all." I stood quite still, waiting for what was to follow. I felt sure Major Taniguchi would come up to me and whisper, "That was so much talk. I will tell you your real orders later." After all, Suzuki was present, and the major could not talk to me confidentially in front of him. See how he would always find some little bit of piece that would tell him that it was really to continue hiding. I watched the major closely. He merely looked back rather stiffly. Seconds passed, but still he said no more. The pack on my back suddenly seemed very heavy. So that was the end. That's how Hiro Onora was finally convinced to come down out of the mountains, and that's his Major Taniguchi right there, who was a bookseller in Tokyo. Can you imagine getting summoned 30 years later? You're kind of an old guy coming back. We need you to come down to the Philippines. We've got one of your soldiers that's still stuck in the. He's still fighting the war from the jungle. Now, Hiro Onoda was very famous in Japan. Everybody knew about him. He was very famous around the world, actually, because they knew he was in the jungle. And if you think that this was a one-off, there was another guy that gave up like 2 years before in 1972. So this was not a one-off. Crusader says, Mully, a.k.a. William, is watching episode 47 of Canon. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. You know what's cool? I caught my grandfather watching your video today. What? Watching my video? What video would that be, I wonder? That's interesting, Jaden. Grandfather, no less. Ask your grandfather if he wants a copy of the book. Cinecyclist, from a Japanese film called Funeral Parade of Roses, made in the late 60s, I believe. Awesome. Oh yeah, they are Japanese. They're Japanese with that kind of that hippie 70s look to them, huh? Not really. I forgot what the question was that you're saying not really to. Sorry. Or not really well known, maybe? Is the island not well known? Not really well known island, but it's a known story. Interesting. Okay. Wasn't his commander a book salesman? You got it. He sure was a book salesman. Remember that in the story. Yep. Laura says, "Hey, Laura, I'm sorry I missed it. What is the title of this book you are reading from? Sounds like a touching story." It is No Surrender, My 30-Year War, the ghostwritten autobiography of Hiro Onoda, Second Lieutenant Hiro Onoda, who spent 30 years fighting in the jungles of the Philippine islands of Lubak after the war had ceased. Very interesting story. This story is actually so interesting. It is. I really, really, really recommend this book. And if you're in the United States and you want me to send you a copy, just send me an email, dinnerbytheriver@gmail.com, and I'll send it to you. You can read it because I don't keep books, so I always get rid of them. But I have to restrict it to the United States because international shipping is like $20, and the book is only like 12. So it's cheaper for you to buy it yourself. But if you're in the United States and you want it, let me know and I'll send it to you. You get all my markups. Jaden, wasn't there plenty of Japanese soldiers who were not aware of the war's end? Yeah, there were soldiers, including like 5 years after the war. There was an entire not a division, but a squadron that exited the jungles of somewhere in Southeast Asia with all of their heavy weapons. It was a constant trickle for the first 5, 10, even 20 years to a lesser degree after the war. Ask Mully, he knows. Okay, I'll ask him. Is there any chance a motion picture for this story? Not that I'm aware of. I hope they make a movie about the book. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. So you can see that there's a number of different titles. This is the one I've got. I like the title. I like the cover on that one. Handsome looking guy when he was young, huh? Yeah. There he is, finally coming out of the jungle where they capture that photo. Maybe it is a movie, because look at this. Holdout. Sounds like it might be a movie version of the story. Highly recommended. There he is giving over his sword back in Japan. Very interesting. So anyway, that's about that. I guess Mully's not going to join me tonight, nor is the special guest. So I'm going to take down that banner. No surprise guest. Emily actually was to be the surprise guest. She had mentioned to me earlier that she would she might join us, so I sent her an invite. But she's on the computer talking to her boyfriend. So I'm going to just go ahead and carry on with my a few more topics. And before as we go, Jaden says, my grandfather was actually watching an older Japanese video you did. It was of a bike ride. You on a bike ride, and you were waving to these boys floating in a river. I remember the waving at boys floating in a river. I remember that, and I don't remember anything else. Interesting. I wonder why my granddad was watching that. Is it like Japan? I love Japanese movies. Yeah, me too. I've been watching. You guys seen? It's on Netflix. What's it called? Midnight Diner. Here, let's just take a look real quick. Really, it's in its second season. One of my favorite Japanese series yet. I really, really like this Midnight Diner. Check it out if you haven't already. It has got all the qualities, the best qualities of Japanese culture. You know, I often said that one of the reasons we took Emily, the strategy of bringing Emily to Japan and America, we wanted to give her a Japanese heart and an American spirit. And this series just captures all the Japanese heart. Really, really like that. Midnight Diner. Catch it on Netflix. Let's go a few other things to talk about. I'm hoping Molly's okay. Goodness gracious. Let me text him and see if he's okay. Hold on. Oh, my wife says she's on her way home. Hold on. What's up with you, Molly? Nice to see you this afternoon. Hold on. Hey, man, are you okay? Question mark. We're live. I sent you the link. Period. Boink. Let's see if he shows up. Anyway, the second topic I wanted to talk about tonight was Christmas star. Yeah. Do you guys know what the Christmas star is? It's the convergence of Jupiter and Saturn, which apparently is very rare, and it's the first time it happened 2 nights ago on the 20th. But it's the first time it's happened in like 800 years. You know, given that name because of the resemblance to the idea of the star that lighted the way for the 3 wise men to the baby Jesus. And you can see basically they're coming together, and you can see it in the sky about an hour after sundown. I've been looking at it for the last 3 days. Of course, I missed it on the very day that it happened. I was in the desert in Siberia the day before, and I wasn't aware of the Christmas star. And I looked up in the western sky above the horizon where I usually see Venus, and I said, now that's a curious thing. There look like there's 2 planets right next to one another. Sure enough, it was. And Saturn was to the left of Jupiter, the bigger one. And then now, if you look at it now, if you catch it now, you'll see Saturn is to the right. So I missed it when it was right over the top. But I can't imagine, of course, behind Jupiter. What happened? There it goes. So Christmas. Is there anybody out there? Let's see. I'll continue on down. Jaden says, my grandfather was actually watching. Oh, there's the. Oh, my back. Okay. So, Wink. Jaden says Molly should be any minute. What do you know that I don't? Cinema Cyclist says, yes, very good show. Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it. You must be talking about Midnight Diner. Jaden, I actually spotted that outside last night. Awesome. And then, haha, just made it. Hi, Journey Like Strains _YT. Oh, how did your Siberia trip go? I'll talk about that in just a sec. Jaden. Oh, no, you're lagging. Yeah, but I think I'm back. Where's Mully? That's a good question. I don't know. I hope he's okay. A lag, or is it just me? I think aliens just abducted Kurt. His signal cut out. Yeah. I don't believe in aliens, that bull malarkey. Well, I do believe in aliens. I don't believe in God, but I certainly believe in aliens. I think just the Drake equation, right, is suggests that the likelihood of extraterrestrial life is quite high. I don't necessarily think that they visited us, but I think they're out there. I expect the universe is just chock full of life, but no gods. Okay, so you asked about my trip to Siberia. I had an interesting experience while I was out there. It was a very interesting experience in many ways. I'll talk more about the subtle side of things maybe another time. But one of the things that happened while I was out there was I went under the bridge and I found that someone had been there, and they had left. Speaking of God, they had left a message under the bridge. They had taken my chalk that I leave under the bridge for the things, and they had written the message which says Jesus loves, in big letters, and then it said Quest Impossible YouTube. And I looked at that for a while, and I thought that's interesting. So I looked it up, Quest Impossible on YouTube, and indeed there is a channel called Quest Impossible. It's this dude right here, and he is trying to ride a bicycle all the way across America. He's going to deposit an American flag at the White House. He started about 3 weeks ago in Santa Monica Pier. Came from Texas. Came to Santa Monica Pier with nothing, basically, and just started collecting some backpack. Got a cheap bike and stuff, and he's crossing the Tang Desert. I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing at his. I'm astonished at his boldness. And so, anyway, with this, I'm going to play you this video because this is actually the video that he made at the bridge inside. Unplug myself. Sorry about that. He made this. That's at the Siberia Bridge. Remember I told you he left the graffiti? And he's going to show you the graffiti. So he just uploaded this today. So I think what happened was the stretch from Siberia Bridge to through Amboy, there's not much connectivity. So I think that he was offline for like a week. So here, let's make that big. Let's make that big. And let's watch the video. So again, this is Quest Impossible. It's about what is it about? Well, I won't watch the whole darn thing. It's like 5 minutes, just the part where you can see the. I'll share the link or just look it up. Quest Impossible on YouTube. Here we go.
Good morning, America. It's Michael Duncan Foster here. It's Michael Duncan Foster right here. Where am I? I'm on Route 66, and this isn't for the corona. This is for the desert. It's dusty. It's windy. I'm going to show you something right out there. I heard a major explosion. It's a Marine base.
Now his camera, he's shooting with the inside camera, so everything is backwards. I was all messed up trying to look at this because he's got that's looking something different. That's looking east, but from the way he's sitting on the bridge, it appears to be looking west. I was like, wait a minute, he's all backwards, and then I figured out he's using the inside camera, so it's backwards.
Combat Training Center, air to ground combat training center. Right out there, look and see all the dust. They're blowing shit up.
And they do. I heard it this week when I was out there. There's the 29 Palms Marine Base, and they do live tests in the desert, blowing stuff up, like he says.
No other way to say that. But that's our finest at work. It's the toughest, the proud, the Marine Corps Combat Air and Ground Training Center. The Marine Corps.
Yeah, I see the Jaden saying his camera's a bit shaky. Indeed, he doesn't have the stabilization. If you check out Victor's new videos, he's, give me a break, man. He's making videos now with that GoPro 8. Holy Moses! Talk about stability. Woo! Here we go.
My dad was a Marine. God bless him. But this is where I stayed the night last night. Right underneath this bridge. Because it's so windy, I'm trying to stay out of the wind. Here in the desert. It's getting really cold tonight too. When I came down here, somebody had done some graffiti
I wonder who that was.
and left their truck. So I figured I'd do some really good graffiti. Do a little advertising for Jesus. Jesus loves. Jesus loves. Quest Impossible on YouTube. I hope I don't get in trouble for that.
No, but no one's gonna mind. I know the bridge people have been down there, and since I've done it, so it's just chalk. It blows away.
But hey, I had to do it. So one more time. Jesus loves Quest Impossible on YouTube. Subscribe.
Why not? Why don't you guys go and subscribe? This guy's got 3 subscribers. Okay, he had 2 earlier today. I was his second subscriber. I think his first subscriber was himself. This guy's riding a bicycle across the United States. He's making videos like every day. Look at all these videos he's making. I mean, they're not bad. I mean, the guy's like practically he's like he says he's cowboying it, right? Go watch. Can you guys do me a favor? Go over there and subscribe to this guy and give him a little support. Unfortunately, he's got his YouTube is set up in such a way that it won't accept comments on his videos. There's one video that will accept a comment, I found. So I left him a comment, told him good luck for his adventure, and he liked that. And then I told him that I'm the guy that has the chalk under the bridge. I'm hoping to set up a dialogue with him. But anyway, go check out Quest Impossible if you could. And subscribe. Let's get him up above 10 subscribers. Wouldn't that be awesome? There's 11 of you out there right now. So if you all did that, he's alone. Get this. His last video. Okay, watch a little of this last video. I mean, I'm worried about him. Okay, this last video here. His bike has a flat tire. He's past Amboy, and he's gonna try to hoof it from Route 66 to Route 40, which is, he's right, it's about 11 miles across the desert. Here we
Hey, this is Michael Duncan Foster here. Michael Duncan Foster right here in the middle of the desert, middle of the Mojave Desert. I got some drama today. My tire, I've changed that flat tire on my bike. I woke up this morning with a flat tire. I changed it, put it in there, but it wouldn't pump up all the way. So I was thinking maybe that tube had a hole in it. So I took that tube out and I put another one in, which was a more thicker rubber, and it wouldn't pump up as much as the other one. So
anyway, he just can't get the tires inflated. Something's wrong. His pump broke or something like that. Now, he doesn't need to cross the desert. There's out here, there's probably 3 or 4 cars an hour that pass. Including the railroad engineers, and the police come by several times a day. So he could flag somebody down for help. And Amboy, where he is right there, he's only about probably 3 or 4 miles away from Amboy. So he could go back to Amboy and get help there. So he's not and it's not hot in the desert right now. I was just out there 3 or 4 days ago. In fact, it's cold. So, but water's not too much of an issue. But if he crosses the desert, that's another thing altogether. You could twist an ankle out there and be stuck, and that would not be good. So I'm a little bit worried about him. You try to issue him some concern. Let's see. Let's go through some comments here. Wow. Let's see. Something about I don't believe the aliens are malarkey. Remember Journey Plays. Oh yeah, I remember Journey Plays. Isn't it Journey Plays? Isn't that 11-year-old young person that shows up once in a while? That's you. Oh, is that Journey Like Train? Did you change your name? And aren't you like 11 or 12 or something like that? Oh, that is neat. Yeah, go subscribe to him. Let's see. I would love to be able to refresh this and see some more subscribers. Wouldn't that be awesome? He's at 3 subscribers now.
Hey, this is Michael Duncan Foster here.
Okay, he's still at 3 subscribers. We can see it right down there. If you guys can go over and subscribe, that's going to make his day, because he's feeling. I think he's feeling kind of lonely. I mean, he's making these videos. No one. The comments are turned off. We miss you, Mully. Come back to us. So go give him a subscribe. Journey Likes Trains. Unhappy Fights. Why are you unhappy? I'd love to go to that spot and sign it. Yeah, go to the spot and take the chalks under there. Go ahead and write whatever you want on the wood or on the bridge. It's not my bridge, but leave your mark. But just like us, it won't last for very long because the wind and the elements will take it away. I would too. Good. His camera work is a bit shaky. Yeah. Haha, I think I may know who the culprit is. The culprit with what? I will. Okay. I shall be his fourth. Awesome. Awesome. I'm going to refresh again. Let's go to his channel. Let's see if we can see it more clearly there.
Hey, this is Michael Duncan Foster here.
Go do. So remember, Quest Impossible. To find him, do the search. Let me show you how to find him. It's because he doesn't have a lot of subscribers. It's hard to find. Do a search for Quest Impossible. If you do that, for that alone, you won't find him. Go to the filter here and make this bigger. Go to the filter here and then say filter by channel, and then he'll be the first one at the top, and he's still at 3 subscribers. Doop. So let's see any more comments here. Wow, a lot of comments. I hope he bought himself a bike repair kit. He did. He has like 2 tubes and a pump and a cartridge and a pair. So he got all this stuff. Something's wrong though. I couldn't find his channel. To do a journey like trains, what is these trains? Do what if you don't mind me mentioning again, go to just search for Quest Impossible and use the filter to search for by channel. That should do the job. Can you send? Oh, of course, I can send the link. Right? Why not do that? Great idea. Can I put it in the I can put it in the post. Right? Here we go. Thank you for suggesting that, Crusader. Hope you don't mind me calling you Crusader. Link to Quest Impossible channel. Please give this guy a subscribe and make his day. And his videos are actually interesting. There's the link. It doesn't really come through as a link. I don't know why when I make a comment here, like comment. Oh, you know why it comments 3 times? Because it's going to 3 different venues: softypapa, Facebook, and is that Twitch? Yeah, it's Twitch. So yeah, let's go give him some love. Oh, look, 5 subscribers. Look at that. Thank you guys. Thank you. 7 subscribers. Look at that. Look at that. You guys are awesome. He's up to 7 subscribers right now. Oh, I love you guys. This is great. This is great. This is going to make him very happy. Watch his videos. Oh, sorry, I know that was loud. Watch his videos. This is a guy that, dare I say, he's a bit alone in the world. And I don't know if he's homeless. He might be. I expect that he's probably had some times. You'll see that he has a thing for alcohol. I don't know if that's caused him trouble in his life or what. But he's a guy that seems to be trying his best. And he's Jesus is his companion, and I'm telling you, I kind of don't know how he's doing it. 1 or 2 nights out there alone in that desert out there is enough to wipe me clean in some ways. So I'm glad that he's got Jesus as his co-pilot, so to speak. Pretty scary otherwise. This is quite random, Kurt, but how tall are you? I'm 5'10". And getting smaller. Yeah, I did. I'm 12. That's right. You're 12, and you changed your. And I thank you for joining me, Journey. That's awesome. Journey likes trains. Do you like trains? Hello, young one. Yes, Jaden. There we go. I can't seem to find his channel. Hopefully, you found it now. We're all going to unsubscribe Mully now. Don't unsubscribe to Mully. Just subbed. Awesome. Thank you, Jaden. Look, Journey Like Trains. Awesome. Got it. Great. I'm glad that you mentioned Crusaders. I popped the link and they're done. Awesome. Subscribed already. There's my comments. Jaden, Kurt, the army has arrived. Yeah. Awesome. Keep subscribing, guys. Keep going. Let's see what we're up to now. This is going to make his day. Up to 8 subscribers. Our goal is to get him to 10. So if just 2 more of you can do it, I'm sure right now he's out there in the desert. It is friggin' cold out there right now. And there's nothing to do. I'm sure it's 7:49. When I was out there last week, just a few days ago, I was in bed by 5:30. And I slept until almost 9 because it was so cold. I didn't want to get out of bed until the sun had warmed up enough because of the wind. So he's probably laying in bed right now all alone. When he gets back into connectivity, he's going to find that he's got some subscribers. Too bad he doesn't allow comments. It's not that he doesn't allow comments. I think it's YouTube that's doing that. I'm as tall as John Wayne. How tall? Hey Siri, how tall is John Wayne?
John Wayne was 6 feet 4 inches tall.
Well, there you go. Is that how tall you are, Crusader? Wow. Siri's impressed. I am too. Well, let's go a few more things here. We talked about the Christmas star. I talked about the 2 weeks off. We talked about Quest Impossible. We talked about No Surrender. I've gotten through so many things without Mully. Oh, and let me talk about one more thing: hardcore history. The way that I discovered this book was that I'm a subscriber to Dan Carlin's Hardcore History podcast. One of the best podcasts. If you're a history fan, I can't imagine. I'm just one of the best podcasts ever, history or not. And he's got a series called Supernova in the East. I talked about it last week with Mully. And it's a 5-part series so far. Each episode is 5 hours. That's 25 hours of history of the Japanese rise in the East and how the Japanese imperial the Empire of Japan rose to basically like a supernova exploding in the east to subsume all of East Asia and Southeast Asia for the most part, to the ambition of creating something called the Greater East Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere. That's a mouthful. So very interesting. If you have a chance, go check it out. Dan Carlin is incredible. His podcast is incredible. It's amazing. A few more comments here, I think. Where did I leave off? I hope someday we get to kick it, and have a few beers together in the future after all this COVID nonsense is over with. You betcha, Jaden. Jaden, are you the one that lives here in Irvine? Oh, how exciting. I think I am now his 8th subscriber. I look forward to getting to watch him online. Thank you for sharing, Kurt. You're very welcome. Yeah. Kurt, tell everyone to go sub. Go sub. Let's see what we're at now. Have we reached the 10 mark? Still at 8. Go sub. There's smile. Please, Kurt. Okay, please what? It would make my day. To do what? Oh, well, your night. LOL. What do you want me to do, Jay? What do you want me to do? Journey like trains. I'm curious as to how big Tokyo, the city, is compared to the other major cities of the world. Ginormous. Isn't it the biggest city in the world? It's like some ginormous number of people. If not, it's like got to be like number 2. I thought Mexico City was the biggest city for a long time. Maybe it's Mexico City followed by Tokyo. Let's find out. Biggest cities in the world. Now it's interesting because Tokyo isn't properly a city as much as it's like a composite. Let's see the world list of. Well, I don't even know that city. List. Okay, Tokyo. There you go. Tokyo is the number 1, but it's really not, like I said, it's not really a city. It's more like a collection of things. So Japan is number 1 at 37 and a million, and then Delhi at 28, and a big drop. Japan's biggest by the long shot. Shanghai. I'm amazed that it's not a city in China that's the biggest. And Mexico City is way down there. This kind of reminds me of the richest person in the world numbers, right? Where what's his name? The Amazon guy is number 1 at like 100 and some billion, and then the next one down is Bill Gates. I think it's Bill Gates and Elon Musk are tied at number 2 and 3. Next comment there was that bike will look very surprised with all his new. Yeah, that guy will. He will indeed with all his new subscribers. Nope, I live all the way in Nova Scotia. Okay, great. I was contacted recently by someone here in Irvine. I can't remember his name, and we were going to go have a beer together, but COVID locked things down, so we're holding off on that. Nova Scotia. Yeah, we talked before. I think, remember, I was telling you that I wanted to go. I tried to get to Nova Scotia as a teen hitchhiking. Didn't make it farther than I thought. Bike guy. Jaden, the power of the internet, answering all of our questions in blazing speed. Blazing. Okay, last things, and I think I'm almost done. My wife's home. I can hear her out there. So we talked about hardcore history. Japan neighborhood pub. We're gonna finish with a video. One of my videos. It's a short one, 1 minute and 32 seconds. Let's bring it up. I thought it'd be kind of fun to look a little from the past, called Japan Neighborhood Pub. Here we go. Hi everybody, I want to show you something right here. These little strip of stores right here, there are 3 of them. There were 3, there's 2 in action now. These are bars. This is a neighborhood bars. You know, think of the neighborhood bar where, you know, offer a beer before work. This is the kind of thing in Japan. There's one here, there's people coming, so I have to go fast. They're usually operated by women. You know, think of them as the, you know, colloquially they might call them the mama-san. I don't know if I use that word right, yaki. Sometimes you can see the signs. There's 3 of them right there, little Japanese neighborhood bar. I'm going to sign off. There's a woman coming the other way, and I don't want to make her uncomfortable thinking I'm filming her. So to just say real quick that these are not as common anymore. People tend to go to more established izakaya and see, you find them as much. Like I said, there were 3 there. Now there's just 2. There's another one up the road here. There were 3, and they had a policy. They had a habit that they would always have one of them, or 2 of them would always be open. They kind of worked it out together. So if you went there, if you were somebody that wanted to enjoy some bartender on the woman's past, I can take a look. You could go there, and you would always find 1 or 2 of them open. Now see the red lanterns there? Those would be lit up as soon as darkness falls. Northern curtains there, they're hanging out. That means they're open. The fact that the Northern's out. This one, no Northern, but it's got the sign out there, and this one over here is no more. So they're all kind of drying up. Yaki, I think that's yakitori. So it's a yakitori place. You know, that of course sells beer, and probably that sells yakitori too. I don't know. Okay, bye-bye, everybody. See ya. There's another woman. Boy, bye-bye. There we go. I want to show you something. No, not again. You know, that's interesting. I remember I think it was my father-in-law that was telling me about these 3 bars here, and he was the one that told me that it's run by 3 women, matronly women, and you know, middle-aged, and they would always have 2 of them open, so they could take turns having a night off, so that, excuse me, if local patrons came by, there would always be 2 bars open. And these are the types which you go in, and you know, everybody knows your name, just like Cheers. And if I were to go back to Japan, I would find myself a place like this and make it my own. Yes, I would. Oh, Jaden remembers this video. Cool. I don't know why, man. I was pretty caffeinated that day. Kurt, what's your beverage of choice? I don't drink very much at all. These days, actually, I've got a little container of margarita margarita mix in the up above the cabinet there. And every so often, I will mix up a very, very weak margarita, just a little bit of tequila. Emily, she's almost 21. She likes to have that as well. Yumiko will have a little bit as well, so I can mix it up in the blender. 3 of us can have margaritas. Other than that, I like beer. When I was living in Japan, I really liked Chuhai. Is that it, right? You know, Chuhai, right? The strong zero, the same stuff that you see in the kombini. And with that, I think I'm going to call it a night. The dogs left me because they hear Mama's home. Oh, Mom, Yumiko, the dogs have been fed. Okay, just got a reminder. The dogs wouldn't mind getting fed twice, though, I don't think. Okay, everybody. Well, I got stood up. Mully stood me up. What do we think of that? Oh, let's go check one more time to see how we're doing on the subscribers for Question Possible. Come on, go Magic 10. Oh, we're still at 8. Okay. Well, there's 11 of you out there. I'm going to paste the link in one more time. Boink. That link that just got pasted in. If you can please do me a favor and go over to that link and subscribe to Quest Impossible's channel. This is a man that my gut feeling is that this is a man that's had a tough time in life, and he's trying to do best. He's found religion. He's trying to be the best man that he possibly can be, and he's decided to take a quest. He's going to ride a bicycle all the way across America, and I, for one, plan to follow him. And whenever his videos allow me to comment, I thumb up every video he makes. Whenever his videos allow me to comment, I will leave a comment and encourage him. I would love it to see if some of you would want to share in that mission. We're up to 9 subscribers now. Just one more. Can you just give me one more? I feel like one of those telethons, right? Okay, we got callers. We got 5 callers on the line. We got the lovely ladies over here and the gentleman in the back, and we're raising money for a charitable cause. Jerry's kids, right? And so you can just call them up and do that, and we'll all be in good shape. And let's do it again. Still at 9 subscribers. Come on, can I have a 10? Can I hear 10? Do I hear 10? And then I'll read this comment here. Mully will return. Perhaps something came up. Well, the thing that worries me a little bit about it is that I saw a video that he made. I just saw it tonight where he was talking about needing to go to the hospital. He said it was nothing too serious. And he's not responding to my texts. Okay, I'm going to call him. Let's call him together. Hey, you okay?
Oh, sorry, dude. I fell asleep.
You stood me up, man.
What's that? No, I didn't mean to.
I know. It's no big. Actually, I got you online right now. I went ahead and had the show without you, and everybody can hear you right now.
Oh, okay. Can I jump in real quick?
No, I gotta go. It's dinner time. But I was worried about you. I was texting you and stuff because I saw that video where you said you were going to go to the hospital and you weren't responding or anything like that. And I was like, well, screw. Yes, well, yeah, screw that. I'll call you and just see how you're doing. Okay, well, you're alive.
Apologies, everybody.
You owe me, man.
Yeah, I do owe you, and I had something really good for today too.
Okay, we'll save it for next week. We'll see everybody.
It's your type of thing too. It's from Google Earth.
Oh, okay, awesome. So everybody, you got to come back. Everybody's got to come back next week so that we can hear whatever Mully's got up. So
Kurt, I'm really sorry.
don't worry about it. So Jaden said, hope he's okay. Yep, he's okay. Jaden says, hello, Colonel Mully. And Cinecyclist says, Mully, M-O-L-L-Y, good night. You well, okay. Well, I'm glad you're okay. Take care of yourself. Get some rest, and we'll.
I'm really sorry, Kurt.
Don't even worry about it. There's no apologies among friends. This is just for fun. So, cool. All right, buddy. Well, hey, the Cinecyclist says Mully, not Mully, and hey, Mully, and Journey likes trains. Underscore YT says, hey, Mully, we miss you.
All right, sorry guys. I'm really, really sorry.
No problem, man. Talk to you later. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Kurt.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so he's okay. Good. Let's refresh the let's refresh over here and see if we've got 10. We are at 10 subscribers. Ta-da! Oh, I shouldn't do that. The filters are going to get me. Oh, you can't see me dancing. Here we go. Thank you, everybody. This gentleman is going to wake up in the morning and he's going to find that he's gone from 2 subscribers earlier today to 10. And I hope that we did it. Jaden, we all did it. That's great. And Kurt's army has arrived. Yes. Journey Like Trains. Yay. You all made it happen. Kurt's victory dance. Yes. I do that at work whenever we meet a particular milestone. I'll jump up and dance around, and everybody can see that I wear a dress shirt on top, but I'm wearing shorts down below. So, our secret. Okay, everybody. Well, with that, I'm going to wish you all well, and thank you for spending a little time with me this evening. We'll be back here next week. I'm sure we'll be here. I'll be in the middle of a 2-week vacation next week. Remember, everybody, be safe, but not too safe, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care.